Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at Mkleo and specifically why he doesn't pick up Joker, because I honestly have no idea. Leo is still very good, but at this time in Ultimate this is the worst he has ever been in comparison to everyone else. Like, I think a lot of people this season are honestly saying for the whole 2022 season they could have Spargo in first place because he's like had more consistent majors, because Leo has been inconsistent to his standard, meaning he got like fifth a couple times, he got ninth one time. Like, he's had some tournaments like before he's only getting top two, and now he's missed like multiple top twos, which is like crazy that I even have to say that. That's a bad thing, but it just shows like he is not as consistent as he was with the Joker, with the byleth at least. Now, granted, Joker is a much better character than byleth, and he probably just likes byleth more. And spoilers, that's probably just the main reason. But I want to dissect a couple reasons that I think Leo might have dropped Joker for. But before we do that, I want to take a quick look at Joker himself. So, to understand Leo not playing Joker, we have to first understand Joker. And we're not going to go through the nitty gritty of all of his specific moves, but just know Arsene is a very good mechanic for Leo, because having a mechanic where all your stuff becomes super strong kill moves and they're still incredibly quick, it's just good for anyone. But the way Leo utilizes his spacing, his time management, all the tempo shifting he does, it is crucial. Arsene is so good. Two is Gun. Gun is just really broken in general. Gun is one of the stupidest moves in the game. It is great for getting at a disadvantage. It's great in neutral. It's great for edge guarding. Like, Gun basically does it all. And Slingshot Gun, Leo, the best player in the world with slingshotting. Gun Slingshot is one of the best uses for Slingshot, arguably, in the game. I think it's like a top 5, at least for me. Like, with a move, I think like Sheik Slingshotting in general is probably just better. But Slingshot Gun is so stupid. It is absolutely unreal, the amount of distance you cover, the movement that you gain. And the best thing about Leo is his movement, and the best thing about Joker is his movement, because when Joker is moving, he is so low to the ground. It is actually ridiculous, and it allows for Leo to have this like just insane way of moving around the stage. Mix that in with Slingshot, which we haven't even seen him do yet on Joker. Like, oh my, it would just be absolutely incredible. As well as just like, Leo is a swordsman, and Joker does have some pretty nice hitboxes with that Arsene back air. The normal back air is honestly decent as well. The Nair combos are very good, F tilt, all that good stuff. Like, Joker, it feels like it is Leo's character, but he just doesn't want to play it, and I have picked 5 reasons on why I think that may be. Now, we're going to be dunking on Leo's byleth a lot this video, so I want to give it a quick mention because it is still really good, along with his other characters. His Corrin, his Aegis, his Rob, all to a certain extent, are very good. Like, he won Genesis with them. He won Ludwig Invitational with like a mix of those characters, which we will talk about because that is very important. He won Ludwig's, he won Colossal, he won King of Fields, he won E Carabina, he won like a bunch of stuff. Rising Grind, I forgot if I mentioned that. Smash Factor. Like, Leo has still been doing incredibly well, and the byleth is still very good. It's very viable. I just think the Joker would be more viable. And here is how I want Leo to play the game. Now, this is just personal preference, and I also do think it is like correct, looking at like the way like Leo played at Ludwig Invitational was correct, by the way. Like, the way he counterpicks the matchups is just the smartest thing I've ever seen. Like, he specifically prepped for every single individual on his path, and depending on the matchup he went either Joker, Aegis, or byleth. That is just so smart. But I also feel like he could just do what he's doing at this tournament, but instead of Joker byleth, it's like byleth Joker, where that doesn't make sense. I would switch Joker to your main and byleth to your secondary there. So for matchups like, I don't know, Mega Man off the top of my head, Joker doesn't do great against Mega Man, but byleth is pretty decent against the character. Then you can whip out the byleth in that situation. But the Joker just has like a better matchup spread, just because, again, he is a better character. So against a lot of time, like Leo's worst matchup is probably Min Min right now. Joker's pretty good against Min Min, or at least Leo's Joker is very good against Min Min. So he has that option, and I just feel like it'd be easier for him in general, just piloting a much better character, but still playing like the way he did at Ludwig's. Like, I don't think he should ever drop byleth. I don't think he should ever drop Aegis. He should probably still hold on to the Corn and Rob too, as well, honestly. Like, Leo should not solar main Joker. I just think he should put more focus into the character. But the byleth is still absolutely incredible. It is very strong. It's won him a lot of tournaments, as well as the Aegis and Corrin as well. Like, he's good. Leo's really good with every other character in the game as well. I just think the Joker is sick, and it is the highest peak I've ever seen him at. But back to whatever I was saying, I just really wanted to mention that the byleth is still incredible. Now, out of my 5 reasons, the first one is he just doesn't enjoy Joker anymore. And this is probably most likely the reason. That's completely valid. If he just doesn't want to play the character, then why would he force himself to when he can still be the best with a character that he loves, like byleth, like Aegis, like Rob, if he wants to go there to the dark side. But the Joker, he just might not enjoy it anymore. He might be burnt out, and it is crucial, especially as someone like Leo who's traveling a lot, that you do not get burnt out in this game. If you are not having fun playing Joker, then he, of course, should have switched, and that is probably the reason, but it wouldn't be a fun video if I didn't have some other ones. The second one is it's just really hard to be consistent. I talked about Joker earlier, how good his movement is. That is not easy to be moving around like that. It is incredibly hard. It is incredibly hard in your hands and your mental both. Like, you just have to be putting in so many inputs, dashing around, spacing yourself perfectly. You have to be utilizing your Arsene incredibly well. The amount of precision you need to be good with Joker, at least at Leo's level, is very easy. It is, or very hard. It is not easy to do. Like, it just takes so much brain power. Whereas someone like byleth, where you can just, like, not throw, like, byleth is, I think, undeniably easier than Joker. You have these massive hitboxes. You have this incredibly strong upbeat. Your nair kind of autopilots, like, your neutral for you. Like, byleth is way, way easier than Joker. And for tournament stamina, especially considering when you're going to a bunch of tournaments, that can be very helpful. Now, bad matchups. This is what I honestly thought when I started looking into this video, like, the idea of it, is this is what I thought it would be. I thought Joker just had some really bad matchups against, like, Steve, that, like, the new guys that he just couldn't handle. But as far as I could find, Joker does pretty well against Steve. He does pretty well against all the DLC. The only two matchups that are super, super bad for him are Pika, Mega Man, and then maybe Inkling and Pichu. Maybe there's a couple other ones in there as well. Like, Peach might do decent against the character. But Pika and Mega Man seem to be the ones that everyone agrees on. And there is two Pikachu players that are going to be making it to Leo's level, which is Esam, who has had a pretty rough year, but I think he is entered, like, a bunch of events already for 2023, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him back to his full form. And Mega Man, who his only real threat there was Kameme when he dropped the character. And now we do have Peebnut, we have MPG, who are very good players, and Kameme, of course, does still exist, though he's mainly using Sora. And it's just as, like, your two basically biggest problems of playing Joker, your massive threats, are essentially nullified now, just by the way the meta is shifting. Ignore the scuff visual, but this is Leo's byleth chart from 2021. It might be a little outdated, but I think for the most part, a couple matchups might have moved, like, up one or two, but nothing crazy. But Mega Man is in the winning tier. And that is big. Because Leo, I'm pretty sure his most hated character is Mega Man. It might be Min Min now. And I don't actually know how Joker does against Min Min. I'll check right after this segment. But that is pretty big that Mega Man just now kind of gets invalidated by Leo's byleth. Obviously, it's not an easy matchup, but when you hate a character so much, it makes picking up byleth for sure as a secondary. At least in my mind, of course, he likes byleth more. I'm not, like, hating on Leo for liking byleth. He can play whoever he wants. But, like, from, like, a point where it's like you want to be optimized best, I feel like he picks up byleth for a secondary. Like, maybe that's the intention. And then he's just like, damn, this character is really fun. Also, I'm going to check how Joker does versus Min Min. Okay, so from what I could find, it seems like the matchup is either considered even or slightly Joker's favor, and Leo kind of destroys the buzz, and we haven't seen the run back on him with Proto yet, with the Joker, or any other super notable min-mins that at least I can think of top of my head. Maybe I missed a set, but that is, like, a thing, again, to consider. The Joker is really good, and his currently most hated matchup in the game. I know he's gone a record. I think Mega Man used to be his most hated, but now Min Min is. Or honestly, it could change. He could like it now because he has the Joker. But it's just, like, again, an interesting thing, because from a matchup perspective, Joker does have a better matchup spread, at least for the characters that he struggles against historically. Now, granted, it is also, like, Joker is a better character, so of course he's going to have a better matchup spread. So, I don't think it's matchups, and what I honestly think it is, unironically, is spite, or he thinks it's funny. Because, in his defense, it is incredibly funny that he refuses to go Joker. Everyone is clamoring for it. They want it. And Leo's a funny guy. Like, I've seen some clips of him. He's got a personality. It is very, very funny that he's just denying people this sick Joker gameplay. And it's also really funny that he does it against Dabuz only. Now, of course it's not despite Dabuz. I'm sure they're cool or whatever. It is still a very, very good bit to only play the best player in the world on their best character against one person. I think that's a good bit. Also, just, like, I imagine he's pretty annoyed at just people, like, every time he loses on Twitter. It's like, oh, man, if you were playing Joker right now, you would have farmed. Then it's like, he's trying to prove people no. Well, I guess he doesn't really need to prove anyone, honestly. But he might be like, screw you guys, I'm doing this without the Joker because I don't need it. And to be fair, he doesn't, but I think that could be a big reason. And then the last one, and I don't really think this is it, but I did need a fifth reason because 4 is just not as clean. It's because the challenge of it. I think he might have maybe been, like, bored with Joker. Maybe he felt like he was winning with Joker too much because, like, towards the end of the season, or the end, like, pre-quarantine, he wasn't super dominant, but he did just win. Like, Frostbite, he was doing incredibly well, even though he did lose Genesis to Mars. Like, before that, he was pretty much farming anything. Like, I was having a very, very good season, because he always does. And it might be like, okay, he wants to spice it up. The Joker was, like, just wasn't fun for him anymore, mollywopping people, so he wants to do it with byleth, who he just enjoys the neutral more. Maybe he thinks the gameplay is more fluent. Just, I doubt it's this reason, but honestly, it's not impossible. So, of my 5 reasons, I'm going to get rid of challenge, we're getting rid of bad matchups, and now it's between too hard to be consistent with, he doesn't like him, and spite because he thinks it's funny. And I'm going to get rid of consistency because he's, more consistent with Joker. And then it's just between he doesn't like Joker or he thinks it's funny. And Me personally, I want to say he thinks it's funny, but I think the actual reason is he just doesn't like Joker. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide. Why do you think Leo dropped Joker? Please, if you know, if you are like, I don't know, don't spy. I was going to say if you're spying on Leo, don't do that. But if you have like insider information, like, oh, here's why, like maybe he just like, he lost a bet and he can't play Joker for 2 years, please let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see the Leo Joker back, welcome to the club. That thing is sick. And yeah, thank you for the support. It means the absolute world to me. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.